Hey, it's Ping from Formula Delta Performance Solutions. We're back with hopefully the last update of this entire series. We're here at the Ontario Time Attack Open House that's being hosted at RCLUB. This is a very cool facility. We'll show some footage of the facility here, and we're gonna provide the last update from here. Now that we got some oil pans out in the field and we have had many customers installing the oil pans either by themselves or attempting it through a shop, please read the instructions. We spent a lot of time preparing the instructions so that you have a good experience installing this product. I understand that it's just an oil pan, but there are some subtle details in here and some special tools required for this installation. Be prepared with tools, consumables, and whatnot so that you have a good time installing the oil pan. Explaining some of the details of this oil pan and the features with it, we use a rubber sealing washer that is surrounded by metal outer. This washer is better in terms of sealing performance than a crush washer, but it does have some subtleties and nuances associated with it. The first thing that we have noticed is that after a couple of thermal or temperature cycles, it's possible to compress the rubber slightly more than upon the first installation. So please take a look at our application notes where we explain that after install and the first few thermal cycles, you can try retorquing the drain plugs. They may turn another quarter turn or so, which is just coming from the squish of the rubber sealing washers. Don't be alarmed. We don't think this is a problem for most users. To be extra secure, we recommend that after heat cycling the engine a couple times after install to recheck the torque of the drain plugs. You don't need to overly torque them. You can just set the torque to our recommended specification, which is 30 foot-pounds. There's no need to go above that. It may turn another quarter turn or so, but that's not a concern per se. We just want to be extra sure that there's no problems going forward. You can see on our oil pans, we have these cutouts. These cutouts are specifically left there for the drain access cover or oil pan access cover bolts. The OEM bolts are something like 12 millimeters long. They do stick out and could potentially hit the oil pan if you bottom out the car. We recommend slightly shorter bolts if you're going to be coming up on curbs and or there are places where you're driving that you occasionally bottom out the car. We also have seen builds with splitters and or accidental off tracks, I guess, where these bolts do contact the oil pan because the under tray will flex. So if you're concerned about that, please take a look at the shorter bolt options. We have the recommendation in our installation instructions as to where to get them. If you're not, bottoming out your car on the regular basis, which I don't think anybody intends to, it's just an added layer of insurance more so than a necessity. Now that we got some oil pans out into the market and into our customers' hands, we're seeing the product installed on various types of builds. Some of them are more serious than others. And we have at least 2 customers who have tested our oil pan in conjunction with Accusump, and they saw really good results. At the club level that this oil pan is designed for, it functions quite well. But if you're setting lap records and really pushing the performance envelope of this vehicle, an Accusump might be an additional layer of safety that could benefit your build. We think the product is quite good for what it is already, but if you have higher expectations than us and or you don't want to see that oil pressure move at all, you can consider Accusump as an additional layer of safety for your build. So what's next for us? We are currently coordinating the ordering and receiving of the second batch of oil pans. The very first round, we kind of ordered a bare minimum based on our pre-order volume. The interest from the community has been great, but because of that, we have completely sold out of our first batch. This time, after we receive the second batch, we should hold some inventory of the product, and we will be able to ship and deliver the product on a faster timeline once the second batch arrives. With that said, we're also working on a variation of the oil pan for the FA20 engine on the first gen platform. We did get some requests coming from that direction, but we didn't get an overwhelming amount of interest. So we're figuring out, whether it makes sense to go with a casting route or to serve that interest exclusively through 3D printing. On the topic of 3D printing, we have started looking at customized 3D prints for specific header fitments. We have here one 3D print with a small variation. This part has been cut away a little bit. We probably lost 30 milliliters or so of volume, but this 3D print is able to conform to the HKS equal length catted header. So right now we're not getting a ton of interest from the HKS catted header, not enough to justify a casting batch, but we do think offering it as a 3D printed option can satisfy those specific customer needs. And of course, if there are other headers that somebody is very committed to and think is the best header there is, we can make a shape change through 3D printing to accommodate whatever header you may have. So if you do have a specific interest or specific request for a particular header fitment, we can make that happen. Feel free to reach out to us. With that said, we're also trying to improve our video making and storytelling abilities. If there's any piece of the development cycle that you would like to hear more about, or you think there's some content pieces we should look into, we would love to take some inspiration from the community. We're planning to talk about the development cycle, what it took to get to this point in a separate video. But if there's anything else you want to see, feel free to write it out in the comments. On top of that, we're also looking for another project and or another problem that we would like to solve. We have had interest from the first gen community as well as the WRX community. We haven't really seen a lot of data logs for the FA24 in the WRX specifically on track. If anybody has that, please feel free to reach out to us. We would love to take a look at that as well. If indeed it does have a problem similar to the BRZ and the GR86, we would love to take a look at that as well. Once again, thank you for your support. We couldn't have done this without you. This is hopefully the last update for this project. We will start looking at a different problem to solve and start providing a steady supply of product for sale and fulfillment. Thank you all very much for following along. Looking forward to seeing you again.